Alright, if you are someone that does not like to use the models and you just want to go ahead and do it with the standard algorithm, we're going to learn how to divide fractions and whole numbers using the standard method. So we're just going to have a quick review. We first want to rewrite these whole numbers as fractions. So remember, every whole number has a denominator of 1. So I'm going to rewrite 5 as 5 over 1, 7 as 7 over 1, and 10 as 10 over 1. So now we're going to find the reciprocal. So remember, the reciprocal just means I need to find something that I can multiply this by. So when I multiply them, my product or my answer is 1. And that always works when I flip it upside down, because now if I multiplied across, I would get 2 divided by 2, which is 1. So the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2 over 1. 5/8, the reciprocal of 5/8 is 8 over 5. Because if I multiplied across, 5 times 8 is 40, 8 times 5 is 40, 40 divided by 40 is 1. And then 3/7, the reciprocal of 3/7 is 7/3. So those are the reciprocals. You're just flipping it. And then we're going to go through the steps for dividing fractions. Now you wrote this down last week in your graphic organizer, but we're going to just review it again. So we're going to rewrite the whole number as a fraction, which means to have a denominator of 1. We're going to keep the first fraction the same. We will change the division to multiplication. Find the reciprocal of the second fraction. And multiply across. So that means numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator, just like when we learn how to multiply fractions, the same steps. So let's practice. So first we're going to rewrite the whole number as a fraction. So 4/5 divided by 6, put the 6 over 1. We're going to keep the first fraction the same. We will change our division sign to multiplication sign. Let me see if I can focus this again. We'll find the reciprocal of the second fraction. So instead of 6 over 1, the reciprocal is 1 over 6. And then we multiply across. So numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. I'm going to add a step 6 here and simplify. That could also mean converting it back to a mixed number. So 4 times 1 is 4. 5 times 6 is 30. Okay, those are both divisible by 2 because they're even. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 30 divided by 2 is 15. So 2/15. Let's say you prefer to simplify first and then multiply. You should notice that there's something in my numerators, look at both of them, that have a common factor with something in my denominators, and that's the 4 and the 6. The 4 and the 6 share a 2 in common, so I'll just go ahead and do my division now. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then multiply across. 2 times 1 is 2, and 5 times 3 is 15. You get the same answer either way, just you need to simplify at some point. So doing it before you multiply, you're most likely going to be working with smaller numbers and numbers that you might recognize from a multiplication chart, but you can do it after. Alright, let's do number 2. So write the whole number over 1, turn it into a fraction, keep the first fraction the same, change division to multiplication, find the reciprocal of the second fraction. So 3/4, you're just flipping it, now becomes 4/3, multiply across, There's nothing in my numerators that share anything in common with my denominators, so I can just go ahead and multiply. 8 times 4 is 32, and 1 times 3 is 3. Now that is improper, so that's why I said when I put simplify here that also means converting this back to a mixed number. So 3 can go into 32 10 times. Your denominator is going to stay the same. So think back, when we check mixed numbers to see if they equal our improper fractions, we multiply and add. So 3 times 10 is 30. I need to add something here to get me to 32, so that's going to be a 2. Number 3, put your whole number over 1. Keep the first fraction the same. Change division to multiplication. Find the reciprocal of the second fraction. So instead of 5 over 1, now we have 1 over 5. Multiply. 2 times 1 is 2. 5 times 3 is 15. So 2/15. And then number 4, we have 9 divided by 2/3. Rewrite the whole number as a fraction. Change your division sign to multiplication. Find the reciprocal of the second fraction. So 2/3, I'm going to rewrite it as 3 over 2. Multiply across. 9 times 3 is 27. And 1 times 2 is 2. This is improper because my numerator is greater than my denominator, so I have to turn it back into a mixed number. My denominator is going to stay the same though, so how many times can 2 go into 26? It can go in 13 times. 2 times 13 is 26, so I need to add something here to get me to 27. And so I'm going to add 1. So 13 and a half. Right, so on the back you have some homework, so if that's something that you have time to do, please start that now.